Let's flip things over defensively. Take a look at some of the things the Browns might be able to do. Expecting to see rookie Clayton Tune, although Jonathan Gannon, a local guy from St. Ignatius, said, you know, there's a chance Kyler Murray could see some playing time as well. We'll see. But when you look at the defensive keys, what are some of the things you look for the Cardinals as far as the Browns defense goes?
Well, they got an injury at quarterback. They got an injury at tailback. They're basically hitting the reset button, right? So Clayton Tune's in. He's a guy I really like coming out. I did an extensive report on him last year. He's got 1,500 pass attempts in college. Played for Houston. He came out early on. They thought he was more of a system guy that Dana Holgerson air raid concept. Then he goes to the combine, has a great combine, runs a 4.6, really good vertical leap, 37.5, really good foot drills, threw the ball very well. Competed in the combine. I like guys who go down there and compete in the combine because basically you're saying, this is who I am. I'm confident what I'm doing. And at the Senior Bowl, he had a really good Senior Bowl. I didn't think he'd last in the 5th round. He's a little bit undersized. At times, he will try to squeeze the ball in there. He has good arm talent, doesn't have great arm talent, so you can speed him up. I think the Browns need to, the focus has got to be, let's be honest, let's stop the run. Anytime you get a young quarterback at any level, stop the run. Make him beat you. Make him make passes from the pocket. Get him in third and long situations. Speed him up. And he has a tendency at times to rush the ball and try to squeeze the ball in, at Houston anyway. He's only got one pass attempt in the NFL. So they're hitting the reset button. Browns got to take advantage of it and get after him.
All right, let's take a look at this first clip. And you kind of mentioned here the offensive line has not been great.
So Humphrey's the left tackle. Their tackle, Paris Johnson, I'm sorry, is the left tackle. I think he's an outstanding athlete, but he's young. Humphrey's the other tackle, really struggles with pure speed rushers, which the Browns have a bunch of. Obviously, they're starting over. Clayton Tune, this is what hurries a quarterback's clock here. So it doesn't allow him to go through reads. And, having 1,500 pass attempts and running the air raid, he understands coverage. He understands where the ball needs to be. The Browns need to hurry up that clock. By hurrying up that clock, that means pass rush. And these guys don't pass protect very well. And they're going to have to pass protect, especially with the run game also in flux with the injuries they've had there. So this is something the Browns got to do. They got to get after him. They got to attack this tack protection. They got to attack with their speed guys, make it third and long. And this is an advantage the Browns. This is a glaring advantage for the Browns up front with their defensive line, and they need to show that early.
So you mentioned the Cardinals are without James Conner. He's injured. That's their starting tailback. They do have a pretty young and talented tight end in Trey McBride. Take us through this clip and what you think of McBride.
Really like McBride. He's a guy, I really like him in the red zone. It's tough. Cardinals play hard. So, Browns got, like you said, this is an NFL team with NFL caliber talent. Now, they're kind of hitting the reset button, but, Browns didn't have much of a chance against the 49ers in everybody's eyes. So that's kind of what they're going through down there in Arizona right now. This Trey McBride, so last week he had 10 for 95, 10 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, you're seeing that here. He's good over the middle. I think he's going to, this is a great advantage. I don't think the receivers of the Cardinals match up very well with the secondary of the Browns. But I'll tell you what, the Browns have had some trouble covering backs and covering tight ends, especially in the middle of the field. So I think this is a matchup. I don't think necessarily they're better than the Browns, Njoku and Walker and Walker and JOK, but I think it's a matchup that is better than the receivers. The Browns cornerbacks are going to be very, very glue-like on these receivers, in my opinion. And this tight end, who had a big week last week, I look for them to kind of see if they can get him going. And again, Clayton Tune, easier throws over the middle, shorter throws. That tight end, those running backs, checkdowns, those are kind of security blankets for a quarterback. So they're going to attack JOK, they're going to attack Walker, they're going to try to attack Delpit in the pass game because that's where they have not an advantage, but that's where it's more equal.
And final thing that you kind of mentioned is this is a game where you want the defense to go out and dominate. They were dominant in the first 5 games. Last couple have been iffy. This is a game where that defense can get right.
So this is, when you talk about all levels of football, sometimes it's about the team you play, and sometimes you're going to play at a high level. So I had a lot of people talk about the third down call, and people say, well, they should have ran it there. They should have thrown it there. For me, it's not the call that was made. It was the player, right? You put the pressure on Walker instead of putting the pressure on the guards in the center and Hunt to get 3 yards. So for the defense, for the offense, this is about what you do. So some teams you're going to play that are better than you. You have to play at a high level just to compete. This is the game the Browns are better. They're better up front. They're better at all three levels on either side of the ball. They have better players, more experienced players, more high-level players at just about every position. But the Cardinals are pros too, so they're going to come ready to play. So the Browns have to worry about getting lined up, having good gap integrity, making sure they tackle, making sure they communicate if they're in zone, making sure they don't jump off sides. Offensively, they need to make sure they run the ball. They need to make sure they take the pressure off. They need to play complementary football, and that includes Stefanski and his play calls. Don't be afraid to punt the ball. Put the pressure on Tune. So anytime you're 3rd and 8, third and long, run the ball and punt it, because then the Cardinals are going to struggle to move the ball with Tune at quarterback. So why give him a short field? They need to punt the ball deep if necessary. End every kick in a punt. I know I sound redundant and very coach-like here, but this is a game the Browns should win, and they have to play to their strengths and not let the Cardinals get in early. And there's a lot, and they need to take care of their own business and not really worry about what the Cardinals do, because they'll win if they do that.